Number 2, faithlessness. Number 3, attachment to things that destroy faith in the Lord. Number 4, slackness in the performance of devotional practices. And number 5, pride in one's devotional advancement. So the last part of this is two things. One is continuation of the offenses. Saw here was, although we are attracted by so many things of this world, we have no attraction to Krishna's holy names. What can we do to help ourselves? So the next point here is, don't criticize devotees. So that's the first point that Prabhu is saying here. We have attraction to many things. We don't even have to be taught how to get attracted to worldly things. That's a wonderful thing. But unfortunately, we have to be taught how to be attracted to Krishna. That's not happening to us because why? What we have to do to help ourselves, don't criticize devotees. Now let's read this paragraph. Criticism of devotees is born of pride and inflamed envy. Often, our criticism takes place during casual conversation when we are not even thinking about what we are saying. But every time we express envy and malice toward a devotee, the lotus of the heart contracts. We speak something bad about devotees, even without our awareness, the heart becomes shrinked. Those who want to chant purely must avoid all Sādhu-nindā, including the cheap and unthinking variety. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warned Raghunath Das Goswami, Gramya Kata na sunibhe, do not talk and gossip like people in general or hear what they say. This is an important thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told Raghunath Das Goswami, do not talk and gossip like people in general. Well, I don't talk, Prabhu. I don't gossip with anyone. I don't talk, right? But the second point is important. What? Do not hear what they say. Many times we follow, most of the devotees strictly follow at least to their heart. They try to follow the first aspect. We should not talk bad about devotees. That is understandable. The second part, are we also avoiding hearing from others criticism of another devotee? That we may not be following strictly. Why? There's a practical reason. Because, say, Amohanam Prabhu and I are good friends. Amohanam Prabhu loves Atulananda Prabhu, but I don't. I have some problem with him, right? But myself and Amohanam Prabhu are good friends. But then I go and talk something bad about Amohanam Prabhu, about Atulananda Prabhu. He is not saying a word. He's simply hearing, right? It's not because he knows very well. He is the best devotee. Atulananda Prabhu is a nice devotee. He also knows I and he have some problems. Therefore, he's being quiet. The point here is that is also wrong. That is also wrong. The reason he's being quiet is not that he doesn't want to say something. He's afraid of our relationship. If I say something, then I may lose Lal Gopal. So better let him talk whatever he wants to talk so that I'll just stay quiet. I'm not going to change my opinion about Atulananda Prabhu. I'll continue my relationship, but I'm not going to say a word of what he is saying. According to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is an offense. That's an offense. So if you cannot correct the situation, if you cannot talk to that person, just simply say, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please, I have something to do, or I'm not going to be of any use of hearing what you are saying. I'm not going to solve the problem. I'm not going to do anything. There's a beautiful, you might have heard this from me also, or from other places also. Socrates, the great philosopher, this three filter story, right? There's one man who came and he said, Socrates, I have something to tell you about your friend, about your friend. And Socrates said, well, you're going to talk something about my friend. I want to know one thing. The first thing is the thing that you're going to tell me about my friend, are you absolutely sure that what you're going to tell about my friend is true? You exactly know that is 100% true what you're going to talk about my friend? And that person said Socrates, well, no, I just heard from someone. I just heard from someone. And Socrates said, all right, let me ask you another question. What you're going to tell me is that of good thing or bad thing about that person? And that person said it's bad thing. So you don't know for sure it is true. Second point is you're not going to talk good about that person, is going to talk about bad about that person. Yes, no problem. One more filter. He said, what's that? Well, what you're going to tell me about my friend, is that going to be any use for me or no? And that person said no. So there you don't know whether it's true. Number one. Second thing is you don't know whether you're going to tell bad thing about that person. And third thing is that it's not going to be of any use for me by you telling bad about my friend. So why even you tell about that thing to me? Right? So this is very important that we don't get into these things, these side of things, and encourage people. Sometimes we have to be straightforward, conveying the message. They should know. Some people should know, in general, in our relationship, that I cannot talk anything bad about anyone to this person. So we have to make it clear. Otherwise, we are also committing offense by adhering to their words, which may not be true, which may not useful of anything to us. So we have to be careful. So don't criticize devotees. Continuing on this, avoiding pramāda. This is a little different topic on the same chapter. Whenever devotees, pramāda means inattention or carelessness. Carelessness, pramāda. In some languages, pramāda means fantastic. I don't know, in Tamil language, pramada means fantastic, but according to the Sanskrit language, pramada means carelessness. If you go and tell how was, you attend the class and someone is asking you, how was Lal Gopal's class today? Pramada means, literally means completely confused. I don't know what he spoke, just useless, something like that, right? So according to the language, it changes. For example, you say kaka. In Tamil, kaka means crow. But if you go on in above south, you go and say kaka. Kaka is uncle. So it all differs where, which, what, how you use this language, right? That's interesting. So whenever devotees discuss chanting and how to improve it, they inevitably come to the central problem, pramada, the inability to keep the mind focused on the holy name. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Ṭhākura devotes chapters 4 through 13 of his Harinam Chintamani to the Padma Purana's list of 10 offenses to avoid while chanting. Chapter 12 is devoted solely to curing the problem of pramada. There he states pramada may mean madness, but here the meaning is inattention or carelessness. It is from this offense that all other offenses spring. Inattention has three basic categories, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur lists them as audasinya, apathetic devotion service, or the lack of a fixed resolve in sadhana; jadya, laziness or inertia; or vikshepa, distraction, or the misplacing of one's attention on engagement not directly connected with sadhana bhakti. Apathy indicates that we lack a deep concern for either our chanting practice or the holy name itself. As a result, we have no taste for chanting. Laziness creates sleepiness and feeds distraction. And again, we find ourselves with no taste. Distraction relates to the grasp of our mind jumping everywhere and anywhere and remaining unable to maintain its focus on the holy name. Last paragraph. Clearly, to attain taste while chanting Krishna's holy name, we must overcome our inability to pay attention. To accomplish this, it is helpful to understand the nature and working of the mind. So the next chapter is going to talk about the nature and working of the mind. So why are we not able to get develop this attraction towards Krishna's name, holy name, is because of criticism of devotees, and second is inattention, pramāda, Sādhu-nindā and pramāda. So lesson to take for today is let's be careful on the Sādhu-nindā, not to criticize anyone and not to hear anything bad about devotees, and also pramāda, to avoid being having inattention towards things. Hare Krishna. Let's see if there's any discussion. I can share something. Yesterday I went to talking about this criticism of devotees, how we start judging people from our perspective. It's quite serious matter. Yesterday I went to a shop on the way from work, a shop called Kroger. So I went there, and after entering to the shop, then I realized I did not pick up the cart. I want to buy some items, vegetables. So I did not get the cart. So then I was turning around and walking towards the exit where there is a automatically the thing opens automatically, the gate, small gate, right? It was not opening, it was beeping. It was not letting me go exit that way. And there's another man who was trying to come inside the shop from the other side. He was just standing and watching me, young man. He was just watching me. Just I didn't understand why he was literally staring at me. He was just watching me, and I was just standing there. And one of the helper, the shop person who was working there, he saw me. I couldn't go any further, so he said, "I can get you, sir." He was a nice man who was working in the shop, Kroger. So he went, he got me a card and gave me. I said, "Thank you." And then I was standing there. That man who was trying to enter into the temple, right? So he passed by me, passing a command, have you become lazy? I have no relationship with him. He has no relationship with him. We are third parties. And as he was passing, he did not stop. He was just passing, have you become lazy? He just told this and went. And I was thinking, why did he tell this to me? Maybe I should talk to him. And it was not a good thing for him to say something like this to me. So I was not at all happy at that point of time. I said, "Who are you to tell me?" And you have to mind your own business. I want to tell all those things to him. Immediately, the mind started creating a dialogue script. What I'm going to talk to him. That person didn't even. He just told something. One word he said. He just walked away. I was thinking, why should we be even bothered about that person saying some comment like this, right? Then I understood from his perspective, a quite interesting realization is that he was not just simply coming and criticizing me. He was worried about me not from his perspective, right? His perspective, he only sees me. I did not take a further step to cross that gate to go get the cart from myself. Rather, I stood there and then I let someone else to go get it for me, the cart. So from his perspective, he was in a distance. From his perspective, he's seeing that I'm just standing there making someone else to work for me instead of me going and getting the cart. So for him is he's thinking, he's concerned about the other person, right? And he's thinking that I am misusing that person rather than me doing it, I'm making that person to do. Therefore, he was upset that I did not do the right thing from his perspective. From my perspective, I cannot even pass that gate because there's a security. It's not letting me to go exit from that way. So I didn't know, I didn't ask for the help. I was just waiting I don't know what to do. This person said, I will come and go get it because he's a shop, he works there. He knows where to click the button, whatever it is. He just went and got me the car. So two people are thinking differently. Both the people are thinking the right thing, but between these two parties, they have a misunderstanding. It's a quite interesting scenario, very interesting scenario. I had this experience yesterday. Therefore, how to resolve the situation? This is, we are on the street. Many people talk about these things, I'm just taking this as an example. When these things happen in our life among the devotees, among our family members. So what do? I just passed yesterday, and then he passed. He said a comment, made a comment. He went away. But then, if it happens, such things happens in our life, we should not carry on that impression. We should not carry on that wrong thing, or we may be thinking that's right. But unless and until you come to the table and sit and give your viewpoint and hear from the other person what their viewpoint, we will always be in misunderstanding. Right? We will always be in misunderstanding. We have to come to the table, sit across, and talk and solve the problem of misunderstanding. Otherwise, what happens? It carries. It not only carries, the next time it's going to build up on top of it. It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally, there could be a situation you don't want to look at each other. Doesn't want to say Hare Krishna, doesn't want to talk to the devotee. All those things will happen with small thing of making a failure, not making an attempt to solve the problem, but carry on the problem will lead to a disaster in our Krishna consciousness. This one example of what I experienced yesterday is quite eye-opener. I thought I would just let everyone share this one, that we should be very careful not to start assuming, and from our side we may be thinking right, like this guy. From my side I was right, from his side he was right. But who knows who's right, who's wrong, unless and until you speak. Right? So that was a situation where you have to open up your heart and talk. And when you open up and talk, most of the problems will be resolved. Most of the problem we don't want to come in front is again the same problem of egos. We have our ego. Why should I take a step? Why should I talk to this person when I know I am correct? Right? Things like this will happen in our life. We have to be very careful as practicing devotees and try to avoid these things and move forward with our life in Krishna consciousness. Focus mostly on the positive things, not on the negative things to pull us down. We are already pulled down with our vasanas. Why do we have to add more things to on top of it to stay as to keep make our root strong in this world? So let's keep moving with our Krishna consciousness. So before criticizing our devotees is not at all good. Let's be very careful not to speak, which we don't, I believe. But second point is not to hear. Let's not hear. Thank you all very much for joining this morning. Have a wonderful rest of the day in Krishna conscious chant Hare Krishna and be happy. As Prabhupada says, let's meet tomorrow, 5 a.m. Central. If you have any questions or things, do please put in the chat room. We'll talk. Hare Krishna.